This map illustrates a century-old theory of Indian history. It suggests the peaceful Indus Valley civilization was swept aside by outsiders from the Eurasian steppes, whose arrival introduced the core pillars of complex society: organized agriculture, horse-drawn transport, and advanced weaponry. The assumption built into this timeline is that the indigenous people of South Asia did not develop these complex systems or technologies on their own. But that historical framework has been challenged by two modern scientific discoveries that offer a different look at the facts. These discoveries come from two distinct sites: the Harappan city of Rakhigarhi, where researchers successfully sequenced ancient DNA, and a village called Sinauli, where a royal burial site was unearthed. The data from these locations suggests that the history of the subcontinent is characterized by local development and a trajectory of indigenous growth. We begin in the Saraswati Basin around 2500 BCE, at the site of Rakhigarhi. Its sprawling brick foundations show the scale of what was once one of the largest cities in the Harappan world. In 2019, an international team published a study detailing their effort to extract ancient DNA, or aDNA, from human remains found at the site. Recovering intact aDNA from lowland South Asia is difficult because the hot, fluctuating climate causes the genetic material to degrade into fragments over time. Despite these environmental challenges, researchers managed to sequence the genome of an individual from the Rakhigarhi cemetery, a first for a Harappan resident. When they analyzed the results, they found a 0% match for the genetic markers associated with steppe pastoralists or ancient Iranian farmers. This indicates that the transition to organized farming in South Asia was not the result of a large-scale movement of people from the Fertile Crescent. Instead, the evidence suggests that local hunter-gatherer populations developed settled agriculture on their own, illustrating a process of independent regional innovation. While the Harappan cities were in transition, another story was unfolding to the east in the Gangetic Plains, around 2000 to 1800 BCE. At a site called Sinauli, excavations revealed evidence of the Ochre Coloured Pottery culture, a society with distinct burial practices and material traditions. The burials contained sophisticated items: wooden coffins with copper inlay, copper swords, shields, and helmets. The most significant find were two-wheeled vehicles in the burial pits. Were these the fast horse-drawn chariots of ancient Vedic literature? The evidence suggests otherwise. These wheels are solid wooden discs, not the spoked variety used for speed, and no horse remains were found. The archaeological consensus is that these were likely bull-drawn war carts, used by a specialized warrior elite local to the region. The Sinauli find demonstrates that complex metallurgy and organized military systems were present in India well before any significant migrations arrived from the steppes. By combining the genetic data from Rakhigarhi with the archaeological findings at Sinauli, a new historical reality begins to take shape. One site provides biological evidence of homegrown agricultural roots, while the other offers technological proof of an indigenous warrior culture. These facts move us away from a binary model of history, where one culture simply eradicates and replaces another. This timeline visualization illustrates the current consensus. Ancient India was a mosaic of evolving native cultures that developed their own advanced technologies before eventually integrating with outside groups. The past is often a story of adaptation and slow integration rather than sudden total replacement. Through the lens of genetic science and archaeology, the ancient inhabitants of South Asia can finally tell their story, one of independent innovation and deep indigenous roots that remain visible today.